Alright, so this video is about another challenge that not challenge, a task that my younger brother asked me that I need to do this thing and I have no idea how to do it. So that got me thinking about it and it just drove me crazy that what he wants to get done and how I can be of help. Because I am on a mission to teach him as much as I can and through what I have learned from my experience. So he was looking at a project in which he wants this corona data information from GitHub and he wants to load these files into Tableau, and while doing that in Tableau he needs to, before he uses them on Tableau, he needs to do some manipulation with data, like the columns. Okay, so if he gets these two columns copied in Excel, then he needs another column here on which he's going to say, okay, when was this data published, and then when it changed. So he wanted to keep track of history as well, how this information kept on changing or when was it last updated, things like that. Okay, so I looked at it from different angles, from a very simple to a very complex one. So first of all, I'm going to show you the complex ones and then I'm going to show you the simple solution to that. So let's first look at the complex one. It's a bit dry topic, so I'm just going to be quick and I'm not going to spend too much time on it so you don't get bored with it. Alright, so here's the code. A simple code. He just said, I asked him, Money, what do you want to do? And he sent me some link, which was a bit ridiculous of him to send to me, but that's fine. He doesn't know what he's doing, so that happens. So what he did was, let's go to this. He said that I asked him, okay, Mani, where do you get the data from? And he goes, let me open his chat so that you guys can actually see. There you go. Okay. So he goes, okay, Mani, where do you get data from? And he goes, I get data from here, brother. And I looked at it, and it goes like this. I'm like, okay, I know what GitHub is. I don't do a lot of work on it. It's like the SVN, like it keeps versions of the files. That's what it is. So I looked at it and I was like, okay, let me have a look. So I opened the first one. So he wants all the commit data. It shows basically what was removed and then what was added, which line was removed and which line was added. So it looks like on this file line 1 was removed or maybe changed to this one, and line 2 this one. So this shows the line number and what was there before and what's there now, or what was removed and what's there now. And I looked at it, I was like, okay, let's work on it. This is a bit okay. So what I did, I created a simple code, and the code what was doing was, I wanted to understand like how it works, the whole thing. So let me just clear that up so that you can see. Alright, so first thing I did, I created a function to look at all the commits. So what this function does is pretty simple. Where's the commit one? There's the commit one. Okay, so you don't need to focus on anything else. I'll just make sure you look at this one. So I created a button of type commit, created an HTML button, added an event listener that when click is clicked, it goes to this, and on this one I gave the URL of this through the API address of that commits page, not the browser version, the API version which has this API in it. And the response that comes back, so this is the URL I passed into the fetch API, and why I put in a custom header for this API, for this fetch call, here's the reason. I told him it's a get method and it's this, and this was the thing that I needed to add, that this is what it requires for preview in order to play around with the API, what GitHub requires. So going back, so that's what I did. And once the results come back, parse it into JSON because that's what I'm expecting, right? And then log the results in the console. Pretty simple as that. because I wanted to see like, okay, how does it look like. So I did that, and this is what I got back. Okay, for this one I was able to see that, okay, I will be able to see the author information, I will be able to see commit, HTML URL and all that. Okay, so there are like, if it's related to a file, I will be able to see file here as well. So if I go into commit, I can see, where's the files? Oh. Interesting, where did the file go? Oh, okay, so this is just a commit, sorry. This is just the commits that people have done. It's same as, where's the other link that I was showing you guys? Huh. Sorry guys, yeah, it's in Chrome here. Yeah, okay, so let's put the, so this is the page that it's the API version in this, you're seeing that. And it had a lot of stuff on it. And I was like, okay, what the hell I'm gonna do with this? Then I looked at it and I realized, okay, it has a URL in it. So if I want to see further detail, just like here you click on it and then you see the file detail, maybe I need to go on that. So I copied this link and put it in here, for example, and I was able to see that, okay, now I'm able to see what happened in that commit, and it has loads of information in it for that commit, and I can see there is a files information. So there are the files. This is the CSV file if I want to get. And I was like, okay, fine. But the URL of this file is the same as the if I want to access it through the GitHub page. Then I realized, okay, the only reason why I'm going through all these jumps because my brother wants to add an extra column to it. That's why I cannot just refer to this file directly. I need to manipulate it. Okay, then the problem that happened, okay, if this was the file URL, so I copied the file URL in, so if this is a file URL, I created another API copy link location, and basically I created another call to load the file, but this thing came up, right? This is like cross origin not allowed. Now this is a crazy thing. What it says is that GitHub is not allowing people from another sites to pull those files, which means that you cannot do it unless they allow it. I read few articles, they were saying if you log in, maybe you're allowed and things like that, but okay, while I was doing that and I wanted to go down that road, I stumbled upon something interesting, and that's known as Google Scripts. Honestly, I never heard about it before, I never used it, but when I looked at it, I was like, okay, this is interesting, and I really like it. So what it is that, I'll explain to you now. It allows you to create a script and automate things on your Google account. So, let me show you what I'm doing. So what I'm doing is I'm creating this function. It's boring. Let me just. Okay. So this was the commits URL. Let's suppose we're not using it, so forget it. Here's the URL summary file, right? This is where on the GitHub the summary CSV is. I figured out my brother he did not provide me correct information. What he should have given me is that, brother, these are the files from which we need to read the data. And it keeps on updating, and here you have the link to update, and you can see the commits if you want to see it. But at the end of the day, this will be the final file, right? So we want this, but then we need to add some extra columns to it. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. Now I'm getting somewhere. So it's simple as that. I need to pull this file, but it's not allowing me to do that. So what are the other ways? Well, here comes the Google script then. In Google script, a lot of you may not know, but if you Google around and if you try to find out, you will find a few scripts. For example, if I have a file, right, and I can find here import HTML, right? I enter that. It says URL. Let's suppose I want to. Where's the URL? My file. Where's the URL? My file. Let's suppose this is the one. This is not, though this is not my file. I'm just giving you an example. It's a bad example, but it's good in a way as well. So I'm saying I know it's in the form of a table, and it's the first table on that HTML page. If I press enter, it will try to compile that into a table, and this is what it reads, and it just throws it here. And okay, this is the table. Yeah, pretty much like that. It got it right. It's just that the name is correct. Okay, yeah. So I'm just going to Control Z. So if that was the case, then if I go to a proper page on which there is a proper table, it should work fine. You know where I'm getting with this? So let's say the summary file. Summary CSV. We get there. Okay, I see there, and it's just, this is what it is. This is the table that I want. And there's no other table format that I see there. This is the only table format. So what should we do? Will it work if I just give it this thing? Let's see. Is it good enough? So we once again do import HTML. There you go. It's working, right? Not as good as that, but let's suppose it's working, and let's suppose it's working. I'm not gonna do the whole thing for my brother, so he's not gonna learn anything. So money, I'm gonna leave some stuff for you to work on. So now you know this thing works, and you can create a format of your. Let's suppose, let me press Control Z. Let me put some good music on as well. Something I like. Nope. Sorry guys, I just need to listen to one song I remember. It's just that one. Alright. Okay. Where's my code? So what I did, this is some URL of that CSV file on GitHub, and this is the Google Sheet. So I created this sheet, and you can. So let me go back. I close it. This is my Google work. Done. If I click on my file, then go to click on sharing settings, I guess. Yeah. So copy links from there. And in my script, I put this URL here. Now I'm creating a variable SSAP as a spreadsheet app, opened by URL, this URL. Once the spreadsheet app is open, then I'm defining a sheet object, and I'm SS app will get sheet by name and summary. So in my sheet, how does it work? So I created a sheet by the name of summary, right? So let me show you the power of that. So we go in there, and I clear the sheet first, right? And then I'm putting that formula in there, import HTML, and then the URL, and saying it's a table of type 1 of this. And what happens when I click on run? So when you run the first time, it will ask you to give permissions this script to access your file, so just allow it. It will be just a simple pop-up. And there you go, you have an error. What is the header? Okay, there should be a quotation mark around this URL. Why is there none? So we go, so it's writing, you can see that. That's amazing, right? And go back in here. Run. Okay, it ran. Once again, the same problem. Why is it not leaving there? So import HTML URL. This. Let's do this. Let's type in some random data here. Run. There you go. It ran successfully. And this time I'm gonna go in. I know my. Okay, it's equals to import HTML, and that's my and then I need to put in this, and I'm gonna plus sign to import my, and it will be a table, and it will be the first table. Sheet URL? No. URL summary file. So there you go. And if I save my file and run it, it's running. There you go. Nice. So what I'm gonna do now is, so you know where I'm getting with this, right? I don't know how many files. What he can do is he can play around with it. So let's see how many files we have there. There's a test.csv summary file. This is test, and the test.csv is copy link location. I'm gonna put this here. The next file is bisects. Copy link location. Bisects. Yeah, these three is enough. Rest money. If you want to do it, you have to do it by yourself. I'm not the kind of guy who's gonna spoon feed you everything, but I'm gonna give you pretty much most of the things. So you have one spreadsheet. Let's just start naming them as well. This is worksheet, summary, and so you have a. Oh, we don't have 4. We have 3. So worksheet, summary, worksheet, test, worksheet, bisects. Alright, so you need to give them names properly. So this one will be test, and this will be bisects. Okay? So go back to your sheet. What you gotta do is test. Okay, so there you go. Should work fine, right, money? Let's do it. I haven't tried it. Just testing it with you guys right now. Okay, so once I create 3, probably I should do it like this. Yep. Oh, Alright, we should be good now. We're clearing the sheet and then we're adding the data. Looks like this should be good. And bingo. Okay, it ran. There should be all 3 sheets should be populated by now. Okay, nice 6 done. This done. And this is done. So now there's one problem. Well, Money, I leave rest to you. And the places from where you can read is I'll put in the description of the video. There's like a Google, what you call it, developers Google Apps script references. You're gonna go in there, you'll be able to see all the classes. I'm just gonna show you. You should be good by now, Money. You know how we do this searching around. So I was looking for this what did I look for first? Yeah, so the whole thing started by, I was looking at the spreadsheet app class. Once I saw the spreadsheet app class and its different functions, I was able to see how it works and everything. So clear options, like what are the options in there? Clear options, clear the sheets of contents or format as okay, format only, contents only, true. Okay, so maybe in your case what you will be doing will be clearing columns, right? You know where I'm getting with this, but I want you to figure this thing out and tell me how you're gonna do it, because I don't know. I haven't spent time on that one, but the thought I had in mind was that, okay, how about if I don't clear all the content, or maybe I clear all the content, but in this column I'm just gonna throw in the value that I want to throw in. Maybe this value, that value looks fine, updated. So maybe it will be a lot of searching, or I don't know. This time 2:45. There's a lot of things you can do, Mani. Honestly, I can throw you the code, this code, if you're interested. Let's suppose this thing, if you wanna, nah, it's gonna be too much. What I was thinking is that, just brainstorming here, guys, don't get confused, that in our code we have this thing where we see all this thing, right? So we want to know when was this file last updated. We can look at the commits. Let me clear that up. So this is one of the API calls. Let's get in with you. So we will be able to see the commits, but then again, nah, I don't want to do that. It's too much work. Let's go back to our app to figure out what else we can do. So we have this. We have data showing up here. How would I be able to figure out what's the last row and the last column? For example, here I don't see that yet. Here I do. At the end, no, I don't. So screw it. Last line on the summary file, you gotta delete it. Yeah, I guess that's the best way to do it. Yeah, delete it. So you know if there are probably the 5th row you want to delete. Now you'll be thinking, how am I gonna do that? That's known as study, alright? Like get last column, get last row. Maybe you're gonna get the get last row and clear it. Let's see if that works. Variable last row, sheet dot get last row, and can we clear a row? Okay, what happens when you get a row? So far I'm looking at the sheet object. I haven't looked at the row object. how you select the range. Then what do you do with it? How do you write to a certain row? What do I have here? Sheet, slicer, spreadsheet. Okay. So Mani, I leave that to you. Don't want to bore other people as well with all this thing. So guys, this is important. This thing that I learned. Maybe you guys can see some other videos on the Google script as well. The next thing, Mani, you need to do about your job, about how you're going to do it regularly, is you're going to set up the trigger. And once you set up a trigger, create a new trigger, right? And you want to run your my function, choose which deployment should run. Well, I have no idea what that means. I guess there's not an option. Time driven, yeah, you can select time driven, right? And hourly timer, I think that's better, right? After every hour, it's gonna go and run your script and populate all 4 or 5 sheets that you have in your Excel with the current data, whatever it sees. Now in Tableau, what you can do is Tableau has a Google connector which allows Tableau to pull data from Google Sheets. So in that, you're going to put that Sheets URL, and I guess you're good to go. Alright, thank you.